How y'all doing? If you like reseller content, toy content, like, subscribe, comment below. Today we got a Monopoly, we have a Mastermind, which I guess is on the list of things I always pick up for parts, but they rarely come up. And then we got another one of these guys. Fisher Price 1994 Great Adventures Castle. Funny enough, I just sold the other one I had 2 days ago for $75 plus shipping, and then I run into one today. So let's look at the Monopoly. All right, so learned a few things about Monopoly the other day. So somebody returned or asked for a refund because they had the wrong address on their eBay account. eBay will not allow you to send something to a different address. Because if somebody hacks your account, they can just manually tell everybody to send your stuff elsewhere, or, any kind of fraud thing. So it has to go to the address on file. The person knew that. They apologized. They said, give me a minute. I'm going to change this when it changes back. I'll buy it again. No sweat, right? So I looked, and both eBay and the post office have snuck their fees up a little bit, but I didn't realize the combined increases actually changed my profit margin. So depending on where you live, I only make $1 on stuff in here now. So that changes how I operate. So now I can't spend $3. It has to be $2. I'm not thrilled about it, and if you're East Coast or whatever, where I am, it doesn't matter, but I had not noticed that it had changed that much. At a point, I'm going to have to make my minimum $8 rather than $7. So the other thing I've learned about is we do this for the tokens, right? So I made a listing. I had a lot of weird tokens that weren't going to, for Horseopoly and different ones that weren't going to go anywhere, and I'd saved them. So I decided I'm just going to make a lot called 10 random Monopoly tokens, and I explained you're going to get 10 random Monopoly tokens. It's not what's in the picture, it's just going to be 10, and it's actually outselling most of my Monopoly stuff. I keep taking sets apart to keep doing. So I grabbed this. Now I have a set with, this is the new version. It's got the cat, a penguin, a T-Rex, and a duck. I'm not going to bother listing it. I already have a listing with this that hasn't moved, but I consider these are non-conventional. I can add those to that random listing. And of course we get money and hotels, all that jazz. So this is packed up good. So they put their money in tight bins. Don't need any of that. So we got our the penguin, the T-Rex, the duck. So it's a 6-player game these days. Oh, never mind, there's 8. I thought that was a 6, but no. This is 8. So life, interestingly, I looked at a new life, which I grab those all the time. Pardon my face. Picking up a house that fell on the floor. The new life is a 4-player game. It used to be a 6. So that actually tells me the new life isn't worth picking up, because I would have to make a new, smaller listing and it wouldn't move. But, alright, so we have the hotels, houses. I mix those in with the other ones because I have that running giant lot. These are actually smaller, both of them, than the traditional one. Oh, oops, I didn't put up my my money here. What do I spend on this? Castles 3, 2, 2. All right. So in that thing of hotels, houses, I tell people they can just select like an era if they want. I'll give them the old houses, or then if they don't care, they just get kind of a handful or whatever. I'm going to create a new random on this with those penguins, and we're going to money. And that's going to put us here. Now let's bust out the Mastermind. Just packing this up, and there's something new that dropped on eBay today. you now have volume pricing. So if I have multiples, which this Monopoly Money, the modern one, I have now 9 packs ready to go. I could put on volume pricing. You could even see that. No chance. Okay, great. So I can turn it on and it automatically applies a discount. So I'm going to do that on all my large quantity listings because the shipping is the main cost. So we'll see if we get any interesting traction doing that. Mastermind, this is a Pressman game. Been around since at least the 70s. I picked them up and sold them, but I've just started doing the pegs. There's large pegs, there's small pegs, and this is different, huh? So it's changed a little bit over the years, apparently. So you put in your code here, code maker and a code breaker. That's their code that usually is behind a thing or whatever. And then you're guessing what this code could be. And then the pegs signify, like, did you get it? So, like, you can kind of see here, red, red. They got 1 red peg. You got 1 in the right place. White means you got 1 but in the wrong place. And then you kind of figure out what you're doing here. Very simple game. Pretty fun. But the pegs go for decent money. It used to be black pegs. I haven't done one in a while. The other cool thing, which you don't find in games often, is that you store them inside. So it's ready to go. As a party game, it makes a lot of sense. I know Jenga's the party game, but that involves property damage, so not a fan. I don't quite understand how you hide the code. Oh, okay. It just stands up now. And you can lock it into place, I guess. That's like for a big reveal. Anyways. Got all the pegs. Well, the color scheme changed. If you got alternate colors, you have changed the difficulty of the game. We have more options. So, we shall dump this out, sort it, and price it. Got them all sorted out, looks good. eBay again changed how you list stuff, and just when I got used to the way they started doing it like 4 months ago, and it's worse than ever. So, awesome. Can't just leave well enough alone, right? I liked where they're going. They're doing AI as far as it would look at what you were doing and it would make a listing and be like, oh, that's obviously blank. It didn't work awesome. Certain stuff like My Littlest Pet Shops, though, it immediately knew which one it was. So that was actually handy. I don't know if they got a backlash for using AI. I know that's really kind of an innocent way of using AI, but whatever. Yeah. We're going to do an $8 listing on this. They always go. I've never had one sit around for more than a couple of weeks. It could be it's an easy thing to lose in that tray if they pop open or something. But, yeah. So we got... we're at break even, and we haven't even touched our big honkin' castle. Alright, so like I said, I've taken in a few of these. And this is something I used to pass up because I didn't want to have to store it and ship it. And then I saw the prices on it, and I'm like, I just got to. So I took in 2. I sold one the other day with most of the parts, the stickers intact, and some Knights 75 plus shipping. 2 days later, here's another one. What am I going to do with it? So this is a good example of where I could hoard these and make really good ones to sell, or I could part them out. And I'm going to part this one out. The reason being, the only thing I can't fix are the stickers. You can't get them off of other castles. You have to get a castle that has the stickers. We got this, but that's it. So the parts to this are this trapdoor. This cannon is the most expensive part, and it works. I push it in, it works. The cannonballs, but we don't have those. We have a drawbridge, which is broken. Didn't notice that. I have a spare drawbridge, so that's why we part stuff out. This bit, and then there's two doors on the top, but this has neither. There's a catapult one and a trapdoor that drops into that dungeon. So as an example of this isn't great, but the fact it has this for $3, what is the going rate for this cannon right now? Last time I looked, so let's see, Great Adventures 1994 Castle Cannon. What do we got? I'm asking because I can't see my computer screen. So the cannon for 20, the piece of the wall, apparently. Oh, okay, no, that's the legit piece for 40. This is not the cannon to this. This is the cannon to the 98 version. They're different. The cannonballs go for great money. Look at that. $40 for 3 cannonballs, 11 watchers. Unfortunately, we didn't get the cannonballs today, but it don't matter. So this cannon, there is only, I gotta get this out of the way, I can't see anything. The cannon, so that is the correct cannon, because it slots into the wall. It doesn't have a base like this one. So that cannon for 20, and then the wall with cannon for 40. We have another one down here for 45. That's the wrong cannon. That's the wrong cannon. The rest of them are in castles. So, how many have sold? 36. Now, that's including cannonballs and castles where it says this is a listing, but $35 broken cannon. Mine works. And that's why I'm parting it out, is I'll make, I paid $3 for it. If I make money on the cannon, I'm not going to be heartbroken about it. Wall with cannon, $40. That is a reasonable rate. So I'm doing wall and cannon, and I'm going to do $35 on that. Now, that's not the end, though, because I have the gates. Put this back. So I can take stuff off of this, and I have part listings already because I've already stripped one of these. This bit, you have this port clip. There's 2 versions of this piece. One is a solid gray piece, and one has the black, and it's like clipped in. I can take that off. And then I have this gate. The drawbridge, like I said, is broken. There's a lever that raises and lowers it that snapped. So these two, what I was going to do is I was going to check my listings, because I did list these, let's say, 2 months ago. So we'll look at 1994 Castle, and we'll see my parts. So I got the drawbridge, mine's busted, so I can't strip that. I have a castle top, which I don't know if those actually break, but I took it because I could. And we got this, and then we got this. Now I have these prices. Here, I'm adding inventory. I'm going to add those 3 on the right. And being as I'm adding inventory, I can adjust my price, and I'm going to make decent money if I can get them to move. So we're just going to see where they're at. 1994 Castle. How many views do we got? 27 days ago, not even 2 months. On the drawbridge, I have 3 views and 1 watcher at $12. I can't touch that. This piece, I'm pointing with my hand rather than the mouse, this piece at $12, 8 views, 2 watchers. So if I add one and lower it to 11, do I sell? Do I sell both? Very possible. Gate, I have 1 watcher. And on the top of the castle, nothing. So that's what I'm going to do is I'm going to take these 3 pieces, I'm going to lower them all by $1, and I'm going to find the price floor. Where do people pull the trigger on this stuff? So that's going to put us, I bet they'll move. Let's call it that, whatever. So $7, 40 in profit. Easy stuff to sell. And the castle, not worth hanging on to, so I'll give that to my kids. Now they got 2 stripped down castles, which they don't mind. But, alright, not a bad pickup. So if you like resale content, toy content, like, subscribe, comment below. Thank you all for watching, and see you next time.